Oh, Psychoschematics Productions presents another episode of In the Classroom with your boy Coach Ace. So, let's get to the topic. Today's episode of In the Classroom will be talking about actually something that I came up with, a scheme that I came up with personally. Semi-Blitz. Now, I know a lot of y'all never heard of that because it's never been run. Semi-Blitz is a defensive concept that essentially allows the player a choice for what they're going to do within the play. So, essentially, I give one of the players a semi-blitz. And what a semi-blitz is essentially I either put the player in man coverage or zone coverage. And within that play, that one particular player has an option to either blitz off of a nine, blitz from a nine gap, or play their coverage that I originally assigned them. So they basically have two options. They play their coverage that I assigned them, or they blitz off of the nine gap. Unique. It's very unique. But what's interesting about it is I typically would only give that type of leverage to player that is really keyed in, dialed in during film study, during preparation through the week. And if I know that player is highly intelligent, really has a high football IQ, and is aware of the scenarios and situations, when to blitz, when to play their coverage, when to stay back, and understands all the schemes and concepts that I have presented to them within the playbook. So, enough of me rambling. Let's get to the play art. So, this play art that I've drawn out and provided for you to view, this play art is showing a combo semi-blitz. Now, the reason it's called a semi-blitz is I typically have four pressurers that are designed to pressure and do nothing else. And then the fifth possible blitzer, which ultimately has the semi-blitz, has the choice or the option to play their coverage or blitz off the nine gap. So the reason it's called semi is four pressurers is not considered a blitz in football. Five or more pressures is considered a blitz. So that's the reason it's a semi-blitz. If he decides not to pressure, or if he decides not to blitz, then it's not a blitz. But if he decides, based off of the formation and where the players are and their particular angles within the formation, that he decides that he wants a blitz, then it's a blitz, hence semi-blitz. So, now, back to the play art. What I'm showing right here is cover two. I said cover two with zone encasing and sealing the inside of the defense towards the middle of the field, and encasing towards the deep zones off of the corner with cover two. And the safeties are in traditional cover two. The middle and weak linebackers are zoning up the intermediate levels right there within the defense. And the outside corners are playing man. Now, as you can see, I have something unique right here. You see, the O for red, the red I typically use for blitz, and the R is in black for the man coverage. Essentially, what I'm trying to signal through this play art is I'm trying to illustrate that the cornerback towards the right side has an option to either blitz off the nine gap, to attack the quarterback in the backfield, or the running back if they're running, or stay with his man-in-man coverage. Now, the important thing about a semi-blitz is it's A semi-blitz is pretty much predicated on what formation the offense is in. And since I stated that, I will discuss the offensive formation that they're in right now based on the play art. Now, the offensive formation is 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back, shotgun. Now, the interesting thing about this is the tight end is on the right side. So it kind of like, I can't say offset, but it kind of balances out the formation because of the 2 wide receivers over on this end, and then the tight end, wide receiver on this end. It kind of balances out the formation. So basically, once the cornerback sees the formation, sees the options that they have in terms of the blitzing lanes and the blitzing angles, and see who is in position to block and how many receivers or how many players may be going into a passing route in this particular situation, that they basically have the leeway and the option to make up their mind and decide for themselves what they're going to do within this play. And like I said before, I've given them 2 options. Trust me, this is definitely unique in the sense that you're giving the player the option to almost freelance with the play design. And like I said before, you can't trust this with every player because we all know that not every player takes the game as seriously as they need to. There's some players that stay late in the film room, stay late in the facility, learn the schemes, learn the tactics, watches film on the other team, and then some players don't put in that same level of effort. So it really all depends on how you perceive the effort, not only the physical effort of playing the game, but the mental, psychological, professional effort, showing up every day and putting in the hard work to be the best player they can. So with this particular play, I guess I'll give you just my 2 cents on what I think the cornerback would do if they're intelligent enough to read the offensive formation and see what they're most likely going to do based on this situation. I'd say the cornerback would actually stay in their man coverage. Why? Based on this formation, it's a probability that the running back will block if it's not going to be a run play, or if it's not going to be anything whereas they have to get just quick short yardage. Because the reality is I typically would use semi-blitz on like 3rd down, maybe 2nd and long. Because the way I see it, semi-blitzes are built to defend pass plays. So I'd say that the cornerback would most likely play their man coverage based on this play art design that I illustrated. Just sit back, play their man coverage, and try to allow the defensive line to get the pressure while they sit back and read their keys, play their coverage on the back end, and essentially just try to force an incompletion because, this play isn't really built for forcing any turnovers. It's really just about manipulating the offense and confusing them so that they can exactly read what you're going to do within this play. Yep. And overall, semi-blitzes, I can't exactly say that they're simple. They're really not. Honestly, it really takes an understanding of offensive formations for the defender to really grasp when they need to stay in coverage or when they have the best opportunity to strike and attack the backfield off of the edge, off the 9 gap of whatever spot or whatever specific point that they are on the field in that particular situation. Because with my semi-blitzes, I only send them off of the edge, which is the 9 gap. And yes, I will remind you, the 9 gap. So remember, I only send my semi-blitzes off of the 9 gap. And there's the 9 gap right there. Remember, it's off on the edge. On the edge. because if I were to do it in another way, in another angle within the formation, it may give it away, it may tip it off. And it's like, you know what? No, I want this to be sneaky, tactical, and I don't want it to be one of those things where you could read a key or read posture, body language of my defender to be able to analyze that, to figure out what they're doing pre-snap. No, this is going to be something that's just very hard to read, very hard to figure out what you're going to do with it before the snap of the ball. And that's this episode of In the Classroom. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's very informative, and don't worry, there's more. So like I said before, prepare to be immensely knowledgeable in the game. And remember, get in the game. Psychoschematics, revolutionizing the way we learn about football every day. I'm out.